welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's live stream. I'm going to be your host for today's matchup. My name is Daniel Armstrong, and thank you so much for joining us for today's kickoff. Now, we do have a very late one, and to say the least, a very, very challenging one out here today for Real Mallorca. They're going to be facing up against this tough team that's been in decent form here at the minute and a very tough stadium to win at, up against the side in green, the Real Betis side. So, yes, we have a very, very difficult match out here today at the Estadio de la Cartuja out here in Sevilla. So we're just about 30 minutes away from kickoff, and to say the least, again, a very, very tough opponent and a very tough stadium for Real Mallorca to be competing out here today. But Real Mallorca, of course, they have been in decent form, and they're going to be quite high in confidence here at the minute out here today. They're going to be wanting the victory, but again, Real Betis will also be wanting that victory. I think both of these teams are going to be very eager to get the 3 points out here today. And we all know the history that Real Mallorca have at this stadium, at the Estadio de la Cartuja in Sevilla. But we're going to get into that in a bit. First, we have just a few other things to talk about. So we're going to go right in, and we're going to talk about last week out for Real Mallorca, the last match in the LaLiga division. They did play Copa del Rey last Wednesday, but first we're going to talk about last week out in the LaLiga division for Real Mallorca, and then we'll get a bit into that and what happened last week out for Real Mallorca. So, last time out, they did face Levante here at the San Martin Stadium, so playing at home, where it did all end square with both teams taking home a point each, and it all ending at 1-1. It was Eta Eyong who did score the lead. He did score the goal to take the lead early on for Levante, but within the last 12 minutes of the matchup, Pablo Maffeo did step up and scored a beautiful goal, a beautiful screamer, some would say, of a goal to secure a point at home for Real Mallorca and to end the match at a total of 1-1. So again, 1 point each last week out for Real Mallorca and for Real Betis, and for Levante. So, definitely not a bad result up against Levante, who in my opinion, a team that have been named the underdogs sort of this season in the La Liga division. They've just come up. They've just been promoted into the La Liga division, and I think ever since they have been brilliant, ever since they've been promoted, I think they really have surprised everyone, I think, in the La Liga division. Most people doubted them since they just got up from the second division. It's usually tough for the new team when they come up into the first division, but I would say, and I think a lot of other people would say, that they have been performing quite well ever since they got up. They have beat some difficult opponents. They beat, Girona. I'm pretty sure it was like 3-0 or 4-0 at their home ground. They've had some incredible matches. So, again, I think a decent result last time out for Mallorca. And that player out there that we just mentioned, Eta Eyong, also a striker who's been super impressive for Levante. And he's proved to be a bit of a goal-scoring machine. But anyways, if we just even look at the stats of that match, because if you didn't tune in, it was a very, very, very rainy match. A lot of the fans were missing. I believe there's only about 12,000 attendance appearance at that match. So because of the pouring down of the rain that there was here in the beautiful island of Mallorca last week out. So you have to take into consideration those factors also. And again, we're just going to look at the stats here for that matchup. And it was 63% possession for Real Mallorca, 37% possession for Levante. Now, if we look at the offensive stats for this matchup, like 19 shots for Real Mallorca, only managing to get 5 on target, which, is a bit poor. And for Levante, 11 shots and 6 on target. So I would say a dominant display from Real Mallorca last week out. A good result, a draw. They have had a really, really tough start to the season, this Real Mallorca side, but I think most people are seeing the progress now. The results are starting to show. They've gotten 1 or 2 victories and 1 or 2 draws within these last few weeks. So let's hope they can do it out here today again. And we're going to talk about the opponents that they are facing in a minute. But just before I get into that, I just want to say I think it really is going to be a tough one for Real Mallorca out here today. Again, just this stadium and this team, I feel like it's a really tough one to beat. You know, Real Betis, they have been in very good form recently. They are sitting at 7th place in a minute. We're going to get into that in just a minute. But again, I think it's going to be a really tough result for Real Mallorca, and they really are going to need to give it their all if they can want to get any type of points out of this matchup. Now, looking at recent form from both of these sides, Real Mallorca have won 2 out of their last 5 matches, and Real Betis have won 3 out of their last 5 matches. So, you know, not doing too bad. That's not including draws. That's just including, of course, victories. So both of these sides doing quite good. Real Betis have especially been in very good form, and Real Mallorca, they have been poor, but I feel like they're starting to gain the form now. I feel like, again, it's been a really poor start to the season, not the one they wanted, but the results are starting to come out, and I think you can see it in the squad. It's starting to get its shape. I think they're starting to look like a team, and some of these players out here are absolutely shining. Some of them have been so impressive at the start of this season, and I think we're expecting big things from this team. We'll see when we get around to the end of the season. Now, we're going to talk about last time out for Real Betis real quick. We're just going to look at, what they did last time out so we can see who we're facing up against out here today. And they did face Atlético de Madrid, so one of the biggest teams in the La Liga division, and realistically a very big team when it comes to European football. So a very tough opponent. They did play here at the Estadio de la Cartuja, where Real Mallorca are playing at today. And the visiting side did take home the victory, scoring both of the goals in the first half of the match to secure the win for Atlético de Madrid, taking it home, winning 2-0, and taking the 3 points home. So a 2-0 loss for Real Betis last week out up against Atlético de Madrid. But again, not an easy opponent at all. Again, one of the biggest teams in the La Liga division, and also a massive team in European football. So not an easy result, and you wouldn't expect crazy things. It's not like you lost 2-0 to Atlético Madrid. I wouldn't say it's not really a bad result. Now, it's funny because if we look at the start of the season, Real Mallorca faced up against Atlético de Madrid here at the San Mamés Stadium. They did draw 1-1 this season up against this Atlético de Madrid side. Real Betis did lose to them, but Real Betis have been doing better than Mallorca. So football can go so many ways, so you just never know what is going to happen out here today. Again, it's going to be a very tough one. When these two sides do face each other, we never really do see a goalless match. Both of these teams, every time they face each other, it's always one team or the other winning. We never really get draws or no goals. So I'm excited to see what today's kickoff has to offer. Now, we're just about 20 minutes away from kickoff, so do not go anywhere. We still have plenty of more to talk about, and we're getting closer and closer every minute to the start of the kickoff here at the Estadio de la Cartuja. So again, do not go anywhere. We've still got plenty more to talk about. And before you do that, make sure you head over to our English Twitter page and follow us on Twitter, Real Mallorca English, and you'll find us there to post, to find out post updates about the matches and the players and the lineups and all sorts. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and leave a like as we are growing here on the Real Mallorca channel. Every week, we're here for the match, post-match, during the match, and pre-match. So again, make sure to join the family if you haven't already. Now, we're going to look at the table and see how Real Mallorca are currently doing in the La Liga division. And at the minute, they're currently sitting at 17th place with 9 points on the table, meaning they've drawn 3 matches, they've won 2 matches, and they've lost 5. It's definitely a place that Real Mallorca don't belong. It's definitely a place where they need to crawl out of, as Real Mallorca are definitely not a team to be sitting, that far below. We saw last season how they ended at 9th place, almost gaining European football, just off of about 2 to 3 points from Conference League football. And we saw how they made it to the Copa del Rey final also just 2 seasons ago, and that was, as a matter of fact, at this very special stadium that we're playing out here today at the Estadio de la Cartuja. That is where Real Mallorca got to the final of the Copa del Rey just 2 seasons ago. But we're going to talk about that in a bit. So again, Real Mallorca, they've had some massive last 2-3 seasons. You know, they've gotten top 10, they've gotten over 50 points, they've made some massive achievements, and they definitely don't belong down there where they are. So it's not the start to the season that they have wanted, but again, they're starting to get into it now, and they're starting to look like they have a bit of shape to their squad and the team. Now, if we look at Real Betis and where they're currently at, they're currently sitting at 7th place at 7th place with 16 points on the table, meaning they've won 4 matches, drawn 4 matches, and lost 2 matches. So, you know, not a bad run for Real Betis at all at the start of the season. Matters of fact, it's been a great start to the season for Real Betis. I mean, winning 4 matches, drawing 4, and losing 2. You know, they've only lost 2 matches in the whole season so far. They've definitely been off to a great start, sitting at 7th place. You know, they're almost securing European football already at 7th place. So it's definitely been a great start for them. And that's why I keep on mentioning I think they are going to be a bit of a dangerous side to face. I think it is going to be a very difficult match for Real Mallorca out here today. But again, we're looking at a strong Real Mallorca. We are looking at a very confident one, but we're also looking at a very confident Real Betis. So we'll see what this matchup has to offer. Now, let's just take a look at the last time these two sides did face each other. And that was all the way back out in January 2025 here at the San Marcos Stadium. And it was where Bakambu got the last second winner for Real Betis, scoring in the 96th minute to win the match for Real Betis, the visiting side, to win the match 0-1. So Real Mallorca taking a bit of an unlucky loss last time up against Real Betis here at the San Marcos Stadium. A bit of an unfortunate one, but again, a really close match. I think last year, Real Mallorca was definitely a very, very strong squad. I think this year they're a very strong squad, but this Real Betis side has also been very, very strong within these last few years. I mean, just last year, you know, looking at this result from last year, 0-1, this is a side that, you know, made it all the way to the Conference League final where they lost against Chelsea 4-1. So for Real Mallorca to only lose 0-1 against them, and in the last second of the match, it tells you that Real Mallorca are a big team that compete with other big teams and do belong up there in the top 10. So a good result last time out for Real Mallorca, I would argue. And definitely not a bad result for Real Betis beating Real Mallorca here at the San Marcos Stadium. It's not something every team can manage to do. Now, let's just take a look at the last time that Real Mallorca faced up against Real Betis here at the Estadio de la Cartuja, and that was all the way back out in September 2024, where the visiting side did take home the 3 points, winning 2-1, with Valery Fernandez actually scoring the last second winner for Real Mallorca in the 93rd minute. So a win last time out for Real Mallorca, the last time that they played at this very stadium against this very team right here. So a 2-1 win, again, a very close one. Every time these two sides do play, it's always a very close result, but we never really see draws between these two sides. Matters of fact, here's a little fact for you. Real Betis and Real Mallorca have not drawn any of their last 7 matches against each other. There's always a winner, and there's always plenty of goals, so I think we're in for a very exciting match out here today. But yeah, comparing recent results, whether it's the last time Real Mallorca played against Betis or the last time they played against them here, it's been very, very close results. It's been last-minute winners every time. So I think we're in for a very exciting one out here today. We will see. So again, we're just about now 13 minutes, 12 minutes away from kickoff. We're just waiting for that referee to put the ball in the middle of the pitch and to blow his whistle and to finally get going on the way. But we still have a few more minutes to talk about the pre-match and some things that we do have to get into that we're going to talk about right now. So again, do not go anywhere if you do want to hear all of that. Now, we're going to look at Real Mallorca's most recent dangerous offensive threat, the man in sharp form, and that is Vedat Muriqi. He is currently the maximum goal scorer for Real Mallorca this season with 5 goals to his name so far, scoring last week out actually, currently making him the 4th maximum goal scorer in the La Liga division. Yes, the 4th maximum goal scorer for Vedat Muriqi in the La Liga division so far. He's been in top form. He's looking very dangerous. And he's absolutely shining with confidence with the amount of goals he's scoring for Real Mallorca and for his national team, Kosovo, as well. He's been in brilliant form. It's great to see Vedat Muriqi back to his pirate ways, scoring goals, doing what he loves, and helping the team get the victories that they need. And if we look at the opposing side, on the other hand, the maximum goal scorer for Real Betis this season is a man by the name of Cucho Hernandez. He's currently the maximum goal scorer for Real Betis this season, and he has a total of 4 goals to his name so far. So just 1 goal less than Vedat Muriqi. So also a man in brilliant form. You could argue he's starting up front out there today for Real Betis, and we'll actually have a look at the lineup in a minute. But until that, we have quite a few other things to talk about, and talking about that, we're going to look at the last 4 matchups between these two sides. And if we look at the last 4 matchups, the last 4 results between these two sides, Real Mallorca have actually only managed to win 1 of them. Real Betis won 3 of them, and 1 of them was a draw. So when it does come to recent results between these two sides, to be fair, Real Betis do have quite of the upper hand when it comes to the stats and the facts. But as I said, I think if we look at the matches, if we actually look at the results, they're always very, very, very close. And I think Real Mallorca always manage to compete up against this Real Betis side, whether it's home or away. They always manage to put up a good fight up against this side, and I hope they can do the same out here today, as they are coming out with, in my opinion, quite a strong lineup out here at Real Mallorca. And we're going to go over the lineup right now for you in case you haven't heard it yet. So, in nets, the man between the sticks for Real Mallorca out here today is, and making finally his La Liga debut, is Bergstrom, the second goalkeeper choice usually for Real Mallorca as the main goalkeeper. The man himself, Leo Roman, who's a brilliant goalkeeper for Real Mallorca, has been out injured and he will be missing for quite some time, unfortunately, for Leo Roman. But in the meantime, they do have the goalkeeper, the man from Finland, the absolute tall man between the sticks to defend for Real Mallorca. So we'll see if he can prove himself to gain maybe possibly a spot in this team again. We haven't seen him play at all. He hasn't really had a chance to prove himself, and today he's starting out here today. So we'll see what he has in his locker to offer for Real Mallorca. Now, the 2 centre-backs for Real Mallorca are Martin Valgent and Antonio Raello. On the left back, we have Johan Mojica. On the right back, we have Pablo Maffeo. The 2 centre defensive mids are Samu Costa and Manu Morlanes. Then in the midfield, we have Jan Virgili, Sergi Derde, and on the right wing, Mateo Joseph. And the man up front, as we just mentioned earlier, is Vedat Muriqi. So again, a very, very strong lineup for Real Mallorca. They have some players that I think have been in brilliant form. They have, by the looks of Jan Virgili, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, just had a quick sneeze there. They have, by the likes of Jan Virgili, Mateo Joseph, and Vedat Muriqi up front there, along with Sergi Derder in the centre attacking mid position. They have quite a strong starting lineup out there. I mean, Jan Virgili, the Spaniard, the 19-year-old left winger, has proved to be absolutely brilliant with the ball. I think when it comes to quality, when it comes to dribbling and running and creating challenges, he's just so electric. I think he's brilliant. And what a signing he's been for Real Mallorca. Coming from the Barcelona Academy, being signed for the price of $3 million. I think he was an absolute bargain of a signing. Now, already only about 2 to 3 months into the La Liga division, and his value is boosted up to around 10 million already. So what a player he's been for Real Mallorca, what a signing, and I think he's an absolute gem. Now, on the right wing, another man we're talking about is Mateo Joseph, another signing for Real Mallorca this season. And the signings for Real Mallorca have been absolutely spot on. They've just been absolutely brilliant. Mateo Joseph, also another academy player signed from the under-21 Leeds squad, and he just scored his first 2 goals just about 2 weeks out when they took that massive victory up against Sevilla. So another brilliant player who's been in brilliant form. Then, of course, Vedan Muriqi, we all know what he's been doing, scoring all those goals. And Sergi Derder, who last year was named Real America's best player of the season, and as we all know, he's an absolute magician in the midfield. So again, a superb, strong lineup there from Real Mallorca. And if you haven't heard the Real Betis lineup, I'm going to name it out for you right now. Now, the man between the sticks for Real Betis is going to be none other than Lopez. Then looking at the 2 centre-backs, we have Nathan and Bartra. And then on the right back, we have Hector Bellerin. On the left back, we have Rodriguez. Looking at the 2 centre defensive mids is Fornals and Amrabat. Then looking at the midfield for Real Betis, on the right mid, we have Anthony, the GOAT. And then on the centre attacking mid, we have Lo Celso. On the left wing, we have Ezal Zui. And then up front, we have the man himself, Cucho Hernandez. So, again, a decent, strong lineup there. Also for Real Betis, and they'll also be going out there today to get the 3 points, to get the victory here at their home ground. So I'm very, very excited to see what we have to offer out here today. Sitting at 19 degrees. It's a bit of a cold one out here today at the Estadio de la Cartuja. But again, I think it's going to be super exciting. We have a great calm night. We have not too bad of a temperature. We have a stadium with the capacity of 72,000 people. A very big and intimidating stadium. I think a lot of teams struggle when they play at this Estadio de la Cartuja out here in Sevilla. So yeah, I definitely think it's going to be an exciting one. And it's going to be, I think, more than less, a very, very difficult one for Real America. And I do expect them to put up a fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get the 3 points out here today. Now, if you do look at the lineup, you can take a look at the last time out for Real Betis, where again, as I mentioned, they faced up against Atletico de Madrid at this very stadium out here at the Estadio de la Cartuja, where they did lose 2-0 to Atletico de Madrid, as they did score both of their goals in the first half. And then in the second half, it went goalless. So they went on to get the victory, to take home the 3 points, and to win the match 2-0 for their side. So fair play to them. But again, you know, they are a massive side, this Atletico de Madrid side. We do know how big they are in the LaLiga division and how big they are in Europe. So not exactly a terrible result out there for Real Betis. Now, if we look at the lineup for Real America, you may notice some missing people. As of now, Dani Rodriguez, Tony Lato, Kumbuya, and Leo Roman all out injured for Real America. Now, for how long will they be out? I'm not quite sure. Dani Rodriguez has been out for quite some time this season due to not injuries, not discomfort or anything like that, just due to personal reasons. He's not been happy at the club. He's been having quite a lot of complaints, unhappy that he's not getting the minutes he needs. And yeah, for personal reasons, he's just been out. It's such a shame because, you know, 2 seasons ago, he was a very, very important player for Real Mallorca. And now, yeah, I mean, look at what's happened. Then, of course, we have Leo Roman, who just got injured just last week out up against Levante, where he did pick up a hamstring injury. Very unfortunate because he will be out till late November. And he's such a good goalkeeper for Real Mallorca. He's one of the best, in my opinion, in the whole of the La Liga division. I mean, what a goalkeeper he is. And yeah, again, Bergstrom, the second goalkeeper, is really going to have to stand up for Real Mallorca. And he's going to have to do it here at the Estadio La Cartuja. So I think he's going to feel quite a bit of pressure. And that's probably maybe one of Real Mallorca's main concerns out here today. Then we have Marash Kumbuya, who Real Mallorca did sign this season, coming from Roma on loan for 1 season, who has been missing for quite some time now. He did pick up a hamstring injury. He will be back soonish, I do believe, but I don't think he will be playing out here today. And then Tony Lato, who got injured last Wednesday out in the Copa del Rey, where Real Mallorca did face Sant Just, a very small side, just around the space of Barcelona in Hospitalet de Llobregat, where they did win 2-0. So Real Mallorca going through to the next stage of the Copa del Rey. And those for you wondering, Real Betis also played in the Copa del Rey, where they beat a team called Palma del Rio 7-1. So Both of these teams coming from Copa del Rey victories. Of course, it's nothing to do with the LaLiga division, but it's also something to take into consideration that the two teams will be in decent form. Now, we're just about 2 minutes away from kickoff, supposedly. We can see the fans getting ready out here today. Most of them dressed in green and white, getting ready in the Estadio de la Cartuja. We have the Real Mallorca players in red lining up in the tunnel, and the Real Betis players in green and white getting ready also to head out to this pitch and to get going on the way. And as I did mention, both of these teams will be eager to get those 3 points out here today. There's Pablo Maffeo, also in the starting lineup, a player who scored last time out for Real Mallorca when they did face up against Levante, scoring a very important goal with 12 minutes left to go. Scored the equalizer up against Levante at the San Mas Stadium last week out with his left foot, scoring an absolute beautiful goal, curling into that top left corner. So I'm sure he'll also be very happy with his recent performances. Of course, there was a lot of drama with Pablo Maffeo at the start of the season. A lot of people believing he was to take an exit, and by the looks of it, it looked like it, but he didn't end up making the exit, and now he's back here and he's starting for Real Mallorca. And I'm sure a lot of people are also glad to see him back. I think he is a quality player, so he can help push this Real Mallorca team on. He has proved it up until this point. And now we have all the Real Betis players and all the Real Mallorca players both lined up in the tunnel and walking out to the Estadio de la Cartuja, where again we're going to have a very exciting one. Very thrilling matchup. One team sitting at 7th place on the table with 16 points, looking for Europe, and another team sitting at 17th place with 9 points on the table. And they'll be also eager to get that victory, as they'll want to crawl out of that relegation zone. They know they don't belong there. They know they don't want to be there. But they are going to have to give it their all out here today, as again they are facing up against a very tough side at a very tough stadium. And there he is, Bergstrom, making his debut in the LaLiga division and making his debut for Real Mallorca in the LaLiga division. And he's definitely going to be feeling the pressure out here today with Leo Roman missing due to a hamstring injury. All the pressure is going to be on him as he has to step up now. The tall goalkeeper from Finland, sitting at around 6'4", 6'5", I believe. He's the tallest actually goalkeeper in the La Liga division, I believe. And again, he's going to be feeling the pressure, not starting in any match at all, only in the Copa del Rey last Wednesday. And now he's starting already in this La Liga match. There we have the Real Betis players taking their picture with their team mascots. So we're just about a few seconds away from kickoff. We have Antonio Rayo, the Real Mallorca captain, stepping up to greet the referees. And the Estadio de la Cartuja does look like a busy one out there tonight. Their fans have shown up to show their support for this team. And it looks quite packed, I will say. This Real Mallorca side is going to be feeling the pressure of playing at the Estadio de la Cartuja. They have had some decent results. Real Mallorca this season, despite them being at 17th place, they still have had some decent results. And they've proven that they can take on difficult teams at difficult stadiums. So I do hope, Real Mallorca, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get the 3 points out here today. But it would be disappointing if they didn't put in a good performance. And the referee blows his whistle as they're going to take a minute of silence. And look at the atmosphere in here in the Estadio de la Cartuja. Anthony, Hector Bellerin, plenty of big names in this Real Betis squad. And of course, if you look at the Real Betis squad, they do have also players with plenty of experience. They have 2 players that used to play for Manchester United just last season in the Premier League, playing in European football. And the minute of silence is done for Ferran Aramburu, a loved and big member in the community of the Real Betis side. So a nice little moment of respect there for him and his family. And the referee has the whistle in his mouth and he's ready to blow it. So now the referee blows the whistle and we are on the way. And Real Mallorca straight up with the kickoff, kicking up forward, trying to look for Vilamuriki. It doesn't quite work for them. Now Anthony has it. He's going to play it on forward to Hernandez. Back to Anthony. Anthony flicks it back, and Real Betis already starting off, showing that they have plenty of confidence. Here's Anthony again on this right wing. And a player who came to Real Betis last season and he has had a great start for Real Betis, as he wasn't looking to prove his point quite a bit at Manchester United, but ever since he's come to the squad, he started to look like starting to feel his confidence again. So maybe a player that Real Mallorca have to look out for this evening. Now here's Pablo Maffeo, and he's going to take the throw in. Samu Costa kicking out forward, looking for Muriqi. Muriqi couldn't win that battle, and Real Betis take the possession back in their hands. Hector Bellerin. Real Betis just holding on to it in these first few minutes. Now switching it down to this right hand side. Real Betis, they're going to take it down to Anthony. Anthony, he's going to take on Jan Virgili. Passing it back to Amrabat. Amrabat decides to take it all the way back to the man between the sticks, and Real Betis are going to restart. Lovely ball, and Real Betis might be able to make something from this. Trying to put in the low cross. Antonio Rayo and Samu Costa there to defend it. And giving away the cross to Jan Virgili. Loses the ball to Hector Bellerin. It's Anthony. He's going to try and take the shot off. Can't quite get in on target there, Anthony. So it's going to be a goal kick for Real Mallorca. And off to quite an electric start for Real Betis in these first few minutes. There's Jacob Arrasate the manager for Real Mallorca, already looking quite nervous, as you can see. Now here's Mateo Joseph, who's managed to bring it down. Sergi Darder into Pablo Maffeo. Maffeo back to Martin Valgens. Now Real Mallorca have a bit of possession. What can they make from it? Here's Mojica back to Raello. Raello's going to play all the way back to Bergstrom, making his La Liga debut. He won't want to make any silly mistakes. Muriqi trying to head on forward. Mateo Joseph chasing it down. Can't quite get there. Hector Bellerin clears it. Sergi Darder ends up keeping the ball to himself. And now Manu Morlanes. Good ball from Manu Morlanes into Muriqi. Take it down this right hand side. Pablo Maffeo, he fakes the cross and he cuts in. He does get the free kick. As when he cut in, when he did the little fake there, as you can see, just got hit unintentionally. So now Real Mallorca have the set piece play and potentially quite a dangerous position, and it's Sergi Darder who's going to be putting in the cross for Real Mallorca. The question is, can they make anything from this? Here's Sergi Darder putting in, looking for Samu Costa, and Real Betis end up keeping it. Antonio Rayo clearing it, but Hector Bellerin commits the foul on Antonio Rayo. So it's going to be a free kick. Oh, quite a dangerous one there from Hector Bellerin to lunge in. Quite surprised that he wasn't booked for that one. A bit of a reckless challenge there. So now, by the looks of it, Johan Mojica is going to be putting in the cross for Real Mallorca on this left-hand side. It's Johan Mojica. Puts in the cross a bit too low. Not enough height on that cross from Mojica. And Real Mallorca don't make anything from it. Real Betis trying to clear it, but Real Mallorca putting on the pressure very well and getting the ball back. So now Real Mallorca looked very strong these last few minutes. Lovely ball there from Manu Morlanes into Pablo Maffeo. Pablo Maffeo's going to put in the cross into Muriqi. Muriqi lets it go behind him. Sergi Darder brings it down. Here's Sergi Darder trying to put in the cross. And a dangerous cross there from Sergi Darder. But Rodriguez was there to clear it on time. Lovely ball that is there. There was no one behind Rodriguez. So he just decides to clear it, play it safe, and give away the corner. But he didn't know that no one was behind him. A good play there from Real Mallorca. And now the first corner kick of the match has been awarded. And it's Sergi Darder. He's going to put that cross into the second post. Real Betis do well to clear it. But Real Mallorca still have possession of the ball. Playing a good ball there into Samu Costa, but the offside flag goes up either way, so it's not going to count. And so far, definitely not a bad start from either of these sides. Real Betis and Real Mallorca both looking very electric. I think it's been a very good start to this match, a very entertaining one to say the least. And now here's Nathan. He's going to play into Rodriguez. Mateo Joseph putting on the pressure and forcing Real Betis to take a throw in. He's going to take it quickly. Izalzoe loses the ball as Real Mallorca put on the pressure. And it's very good from them. Real Mallorca, they can't manage to keep the ball in the end. Fornals, who's trying to play it back. He ends up giving a throw in. And it's Rodriguez who's going to take the throw in for Real Betis. Sergi Darder doing very well to get the ball back for his side. So now Real Mallorca. Johan Mojica playing a lovely long ball into Jan Virgili. Poor touch there from Jan Virgili. Can't quite keep possession of it. His teammates do make up for his mistakes. Johan Mojica is still on the ground by the looks of it. But Jan Virgili is going to continue to play. Jan Virgili into Muriqi. Here's Muriqi. Trying to take it forward, but it's good defending from Amrabat. And now Real Betis to potentially play from the counter-attack. Here's Nathan into Rodriguez. Amrabat. Amrabat's going to switch it wide. Here's Anthony taking on Johan Mojica. It's Anthony. He's going to cut in. He's going to play it. Anthony back again, taking the shots off. And what's a goal that is there from Anthony from distance. The low-driven shot. And what a goal with his left foot. Performing a very, very difficult shot from quite some distance. What a player. What a play and what a goal from the Brazilian. Coming from Manchester United, scoring a beautiful goal. Playing down the right wing, cutting in, taking the shot off with his left. Into that first post from quite some distance. The low-driven shot. Take a look at the replay here. What a shot. Unstoppable from Anthony. And very, very unfortunate. Samuel Costa, he just opens wide to try and block the shot, but it goes right through his legs. And again, the low-driven shot is just placed perfectly into that first post from outside of the box. It's a lovely goal. Very difficult technique from Anthony. Some may call him the GOAT. And very unfortunate now, Bergstrom conceding already within the first 11 minutes in his first La Liga match for Real Mallorca. Not good for his confidence. But again, still very early on. Real Mallorca still have chances to get back into this one. And that goal, it just came out of nowhere. I just think Real Mallorca were starting to look like the better side, starting to look very good. And then all of a sudden, it was Anthony, and he's on the break here now again. He's going to play a lovely ball, taking the shots on. What ball that was from Anthony into Cucho Hernandez. But the shot was very well defended by Martin Valgent. And this match, it's very, very fast-paced. A very thrilling start to the matchup. And now Samu Costa commits the foul. It's going to be a free kick as Lo Celso gets taken down by Samu Costa. Taking a look at the replay, it doesn't actually look like he touched him, to be fair. Now here's Hector Bellerin into Anthony. Here's Anthony back to Hector Bellerin. Amrabat. Amrabat taking it all the way back to Valles. And again, as I was just mentioning, such a shame because Real Mallorca, they were finally starting to look pretty good. After those first few minutes, they were starting to look like the better side. And then Real Betis just got that goal out of nowhere. It's a lovely play from Anthony. Playing the ball into Cucho Hernandez. He gives it right back to him. And what a shot that is again from Anthony on his left. Now playing the long ball, looking for Anthony. Bergstrom comes out and gets the ball very well. Good play there from Bergstrom. Lovely ball into Sergi Darder. He's going to take it forward. Plenty of room. Plays it into Mateo Joseph. Here's Mateo Joseph. He slows the play down. Plays it back to Samu Costa. Real Mallorca going to drive forward. It's Mojica on the left. Tries to put in the cross. Real Betis end up clearing it with no problem. Lovely ball there from Anthony. Pablo Maffeo does very well to get his head on it. And this ball is going from one side to the pitch to the other. You can't afford to get distracted at any single minute in this match. It's been so high-paced. We definitely have a very entertaining one in our hands. So do not blink or you will miss it. Now Real Betis have the ball in their own half of the pitch. Lovely ball from Rodriguez looking for Ezal Zui, but it was well defended by Martin Valgent. Now here's Sergi Darder down the right hand side. He's going to cut in, playing it through the middle into Manu Morlanes. Here's Manu Morlanes taking on himself. Samu Costa. Back to Manu. Into Pablo Maffeo. Pablo Maffeo into Mateo Joseph. He gives it back. Here's Pablo Maffeo looking for the cross, looking for Mateo Joseph. He just got a touch on it, Mateo Joseph. But the ball goes a bit too far for him. And it rolls out for a goal kick for Real Betis. There's the goal again from Anthony. Taking on Mojica. He just cuts in on his left. He plays into Cucho Hernandez. Cucho gives it right back to him. And from distance, as soon as he gets the ball, it just strikes it with his left foot into that first post. What a goal that is. So, first 15 minutes into this matchup. And so far, Real Betis leading 1-0 at the Estadio de la Cartuja. Of course, still plenty of time to go for Real Mallorca. And they've not had a bad start at all. Definitely competing with Real Betis. But unfortunately for them, they have conceded. And they will need to climb back up that mountain to get back in it. And to possibly chase for a point or for 3 points. Still plenty of time to go for them. So we'll see if they have what it takes. Here's Manu Morlanes, who does very well to bring the ball down. He's going to play into Jan Virgili. Jan Virgili just slipping a little bit there and losing possession. It's not often we say that or we see that from that young kid, the 19-year-old Spaniard. Very good. He's very electric with his feet, and it's not often he loses the ball. Now Real Mallorca finally gaining a bit of possession. Here's Martin Valgent into Pablo Maffeo. Maffeo trying to play it forward. But Ezal Zui putting on the pressure. Forcing Real Mallorca to take a throw in. Here's Pablo Maffeo looking for Muriqi. The ball does fall to Mateo Joseph down this right hand side. Here's Mateo Joseph. What can he make from this? He plays it into Samu Costa. Manu Morlanes. Manu Morlanes tries to put in a cheeky little cross into Sergi Darder, he just can't quite find him. Now here's Darder. He tries to take the shot off. It's blocked. The ball stays in play. Real Mallorca. Just last Wednesday, Real Mallorca went through to the next round of the Copa del Rey as they faced up against Sant Just at the Hospitalet de Llobregat Stadium, where they did win 2-0, securing their place in the next round in the Copa del Rey competition. It has been a positive week for Real Mallorca. Now good defending from Real Mallorca to break, and here they could go on the counter-attack. It's Sergi Darder. Decides to slow the play down. Gives it to Samu Costa into Jan Virgili. What can he make from this? Jan Virgili down the left-hand side. He looked for Muriqi. Falls to Mojica. And there was a dangerous chance there for Mojica, but the shot, he just couldn't quite connect with the ball the way he wanted to, and it rolls out. So now it's going to be a goal kick. And you can already just see Jan Virgili down that left wing. The threat he creates for those defenders. And you just see how fast he is. It's hard to keep up with him. Hopefully he can use that to his advantage and try and cause some trouble for these Real Betis defenders. Now Mojica getting the ball back for Real Mallorca very well. Mojica into Muriqi. Muriqi has plenty of room to take the shot on. And Muriqi just sends it flying over the crossbar. It was a dangerous chance there for Vidal Muriqi. There's the chance there. Mojica on Anthony. The referee didn't give the free kick. Let the play continue. But the shot from Vidal Muriqi is just a bit poor. And now, by the looks of it, the referee just ran over to Samu Costa and booked him with a yellow card when the ball wasn't even in play. I'm not quite sure why. But either way, a caution now for Samu Costa very early on in the first 20 minutes. Now, lovely ball from Samu Costa into Sergi Darder, and he was almost through on goal there. His touch was just a bit too heavy. So now Real Betis have possession. It's Valles. He's going to play the long ball looking for Anthony, but Antonio Rayo gets there first and plays it back to Bergstrom. So now here's Mojica with a lovely touch. Jan Virgili playing it back. Rayo back to Bergstrom. Very unfortunate start for Bergstrom, conceding a goal in the first 10 minutes of his first La Liga match. Hopefully doesn't hurt his confidence or doesn't affect him, as there's still plenty and plenty of time to go. So now Jan Virgili leaps up and gets his head on it. Falls to Mojica. Manu Morlanes. Here's Sergi Darder, and Real Mallorca have plenty of room to break forward. Sergi Darder playing it into Pablo Maffeo. Sergi Darder putting in the cross. Finds Mateo Joseph. And he does get the shot on Mateo Joseph. He just can't quite get it on target. It was a difficult angle. A good ball from Sergi Darder. Very good play there from Real Mallorca. He just didn't quite have an angle, Mateo Joseph, to get it on target. Especially with Nathan pressing him the way he was. And so far, again, as I mentioned, despite the result, it's a very good performance so far from Real Mallorca. And I'd almost even say they're the better side in this match. Good chances. He just can't get his shots on target. Very unfortunate. But they've been ever so close to getting that equalizer in this first half. Still 15 minutes left to go before the end of the first half. And we'll see if Real Mallorca can get the equalizer before the timer runs out. So now, Rayo looking for Pablo Maffeo. He ends up giving away a throw-in, and Real Betis take it very quickly. Lo Celso losing the ball to Mateo Joseph, but the referee blows his whistle and awards the free kick, claims that Lo Celso was taken down. So Real Betis taking the free kick quickly and holding possession in their own half of the pitch. It's Valles looking for Ezalzoui. Ezalzoui ends up giving away the throw-in for Real Mallorca. Good ball there from Sergi Derder. Real Mallorca are going to take it all the way back to Bergstrong. Putting on the pressure, Real Betis. Real Mallorca do well to play from out the back. Here's Jan Virgili on this left side. Up against Hector Bellerin. Jan Virgili does very well to skip past Hector Bellerin. He was just challenged by Bartra after and he couldn't skip past him, but you can see how electric he is, the way he skips past Hector Bellerin. What a player he is. Trying to put in the cross, Sergi that are there, it's blocked. Anthony playing down this right hand side. Anthony tries playing it through. Bergstrom gets there first. And he clears it. Falls perfectly to Antonio Raillo. Bergstrom playing it forward. Good ball from Bergstrom into Mateo Joseph. And Mateo Joseph, he just can't quite keep the ball for himself. He ends up losing it. So now Real Betis take the possession back in their own half of the pitch. Here's Amrabat. Fornals into Anthony. They're going to play it back to Hector Bellerin. And you can see for Real Betis, most of their dangers come from down that right hand side from Hector Bellerin and Anthony combining very well. But again, they haven't created much danger at all in this first half. And I think Real Mallorca have been very dangerous on the other hand. And I definitely think, despite the result, that they have been the better side. They just can't quite get that goal that they need. Now here's Lo Celso. He plays into Ezalzoui. Back to Lo Celso. Down this left hand side. Putting in the cross. Bergström gets there. Jan Virgili trying to skip past Fornals. He can't make it work. Here's Anthony into Hector Bellerin. Back to Anthony. Anthony taking the shot with his left. And Anthony scores the second goal of his match. Again with his left foot. And curls it into that left post. Into the second post. And what a goal that is there from Anthony. And Bergström is having a nightmare of his first La Liga match. And what a shame this is here for Real Mallorca. Conceding another goal. Anthony again with his left foot. Take a look at the replay here. Jan Virgili just loses it to Fornals. Hector Bellerin, he gives it to Anthony. He has plenty of room to shoot. It's a lovely shot from Anthony. He does place it very well. There's not loads of power on it, but he just places it very well. I think maybe Bergström maybe should have been getting a hand to it. So now Anthony with his second goal of the match, and he's causing an absolute nightmare for this Real Mallorca squad. And unfortunately for Real Mallorca, Anthony might actually be the GOAT. So now 35 minutes in this first half, 10 minutes left to go before the end of the first half, and very unfortunately Real Mallorca trailing behind, losing 2-0, even though they've been looking like the better side in the whole of the first half. Anthony's managed to score 2 beautiful goals with his left foot outside of the box. And he's been a very impressive player this match. Here he is again. Johan Mojica comes out to challenge him. Lo Celso gives it back to Anthony. Now Anthony tries putting in the low cross. It falls to Izalzui, who puts in the back of the net. And Anthony with an assist to Izalzui. And Real Betis lead 3-0 here at the Estadio de la Cartuja. And what a nightmare Real Mallorca are having in this first half. And how have they managed to do this? Real Betis were under pressure for so long in this first half, and now they've scored 2 goals in the space of about 2 minutes. Cucho Hernandez, he did very well to get out of that tight space between Martin Valgent and Mateo Joseph, and then Lo Celso plays the lovely ball into Anthony. Anthony plays it back first time. Antonio Rayo tries to get his foot on it, but he just falls behind. Izalzui comes in on his own with no room, with plenty of room, and all he has to do is get it on target. So 2 goals and 1 assist for Anthony in this first half. My goodness, what a match he is having. And how much danger is he creating here for this Real Mallorca squad. I can't believe it, but he might actually be the GOAT. And a massive nightmare so far for Real Mallorca, trailing behind 3-0 at the Estadio de la Cartuja. And it's really, really not looking good for Real Mallorca. And what a shame how they've just given away the match in the space of about 5 minutes. And Real Betis scoring 3 goals down that right hand side every time. So now Muriqi wins it back, and Mateo Joseph attempts the long shot. Claims it was deflected. Not quite sure if it was or not. Not quite sure what the goalkeeper awarded, but either way, there's a look again at the second goal from Anthony. Hector Bellerin, he does very well to turn around and give it back to Anthony. And he just has so much room on the edge of that box. And they know he's left-footed. They know he can curl it in very well. They just give him far too much room. I will say, there's not a lot of power on the shot. I think Bergstrom maybe should have been definitely getting the hand on it. And I will say, you've got to feel bad for him, as he's having an absolute nightmare of a LaLiga debut. Bergstrom conceding 3 goals in the first half. What a shame of a result so far for Real Mallorca. And every time they've scored all 3 goals down that right hand side, Real Betis. And I mean, Real Mallorca were constantly looking like the better team in this first half, constantly putting on the pressure. They were holding quite a bit of possession, and on the offensive, they created so many chances. But just like that, when Anthony scored the second goal, out of nowhere, they just went on to score another one about a minute after. And I think from now it's just gone all downhill for Real Mallorca. It's a bit of a nightmare for first half. And the ball falls perfectly. What block that is there from Antonio Raillo. As Cucho Hernandez had a chance there to make it 4-0 for Real Betis. Good defending from Antonio Raillo. What a block. So just about 5 minutes left to go before the end of the first half. And so far, not a great look for Real Mallorca as they trail behind quite heavily. Pablo Maffeo clearing it, falls to Amrabat. He's going to play it all the way back to Valles. And now with Real Betis being 3-0 up, I don't think they'll rush to attack much more. And going into the second half, they'll most likely just sit back, focus more on the defense. So it's just going to make it even harder for Real Mallorca to get back into this one, as they have a very, very, very big mountain to climb, even if they want to get just as much as a point from this one. It's not looking good for the side in red. Here's Ezalzoui skipping past Pablo Maffeo. He slows down and plays it back to Lo Celso. Lo Celso playing a brilliant ball into Fornals. And Lo Celso, he's got quite the pass on him. He has brilliant vision. The center attacking mid, I will say. So now Amrabat. Again, Real Betis just holding the ball, making Real Mallorca nervous, making them rush forward as they know they need to score as many goals as fast as they can. And you can just see the difference now of them sitting back. And again, what a shame this first half has been for Real Mallorca, as it was such a brilliant performance. Conceding those goals like that definitely could have been avoided for Real Mallorca. Antonio Raillo back to Bergstrom. Now Real Betis holding possession constantly, and it just looks like ever since they've scored those 2 goals that Real Mallorca have been completely out of it. And I'm sure most of those players are just feeling very down, very upset with themselves. Again, as they were the better side up until they conceded those 2 goals in the space of about 2 minutes. And where has it all gone wrong? You've got to question. So now Samu Costa defending. The rebound falls to Hector Bellerin. He's going to play it back. And Real Betis are going to take it all the way back to Valles. Valles into Nathan. Nathan into Ezalzoui. Nathan, Barta, back to Nathan. Here's Nathan. Rodriguez tries playing it forward, looking for Ezalzoui. He does find him in the end. Ezalzoui looking for Lo Celso. Real Mallorca defending well, gaining possession back. It's Samu Costa into Mateo Joseph. Good play from Pablo Maffeo. Now Samu Costa driving forward. He's got Mateo Joseph on his right. He plays a lovely ball, but it's very good defensive awareness to cut out the pass. Here's Jan Virgili. Sergi Darder. He's going to take it forward himself. It's Sergi Darder. He tries playing it into Muriqi. Maybe just a bit too late. So the ball goes all the way to Valles, and we've just hit the 45th minute. I'm not quite sure if there's going to be any extra time or not. The referee has awarded 3 extra minutes. So 3 minutes left to go before the end of the first half. And a very, very, very big mountain to climb for Real Mallorca. It's really not looking good. Giving away the ball here, Real Betis. Here's Jan Virgili into Manu Morlanes. Manu Morlanes playing it into Muriqi. Muriqi gains the free kick for Real Mallorca. And I mean, it's definitely still a possibility for Real Mallorca to get back into this. As we saw this Real Mallorca side score 3 goals in one half up against Sevilla at their own stadium. What's to say they can't do it here? But they just have to believe that they can. And try and then go for the first goal. At least Jan Virgili losing the ball there, taking on the defender 1v1. Antonio Rayo doing very well to get the ball back. Here's Mojica looking for Mateo Joseph. Mateo Joseph keeps the ball in play. Takes the defender on. Mateo Joseph tries putting in the cross. It goes out. It does rebound off of Mateo Joseph in the end. So it's going to be a goal kick for Real Betis. And there's the third goal there. The pass from Anthony. It's a lovely pass from Anthony. Just putting it around that penalty area box. And Ezal Zui rushes in. All he has to do is get it on target. So now, just 1 minute left to go before the end of this first half. And I can't imagine what the speech is going to be like in that dressing room for this Real Mallorca side. Now, Lo Celso. Hector Bellerin on this right hand side. He's going to take it forward. Bellerin playing another ball into Bellerin. Bellerin, it falls to Echo Hernandez. And what a save that was there from Bergström and Real Betis. Real Betis were very, very close to making it 4-0 there. Hector Bellerin playing a lovely through ball into Cucho Hernandez, and a big, big save by Bergström. So now the referee blows the end of the first half. So that is going to be the end of the first half in this matchup. And I mean, I'm a bit lost for words as to how bad that first half just went for Real Mallorca. And I mean, it's such a shame because I think in this first half, we're going to analyze that a little bit. I think in this first half, they did concede very, very early on with Anthony scoring that goal. It's a lovely goal from Anthony. You can't deny it. The low-driven shot on his left puts it into that first post. It's a lovely goal from Anthony. There's not much you can say about it. But after that goal, Real Mallorca were looking like the better side for so long, up until they gave away that second goal that just came out of nowhere, again from Anthony. And I think the second goal was very, very bad defending from Real Mallorca. You know Anthony, he can take it with his left foot. He curls it in very well outside of the box or inside. And they even conceded the first goal with Anthony scoring with his left. And he's just got so much room to take the shot on. And then again, it's a good shot. He places it very well, but there's not enough power on that shot. I think Bergström, he's got to be getting a hand on that one. He should have got a hand on it. But either way, it's a good goal from Anthony. What can you say? It should have been avoided from Real Mallorca. They can't afford to make these mistakes. And then, after they conceded that goal, I feel like just from there, they just absolutely gave up. They went on Real Betis to get, their third goal just about 2 minutes after. A lovely ball from Lo Celso into Anthony, who again, down that right-hand side, has created all the danger, has scored those 3 goals coming down from that right-hand side. And Real Mallorca kept on making the same mistakes over and over. But again, fair play to Anthony in that first half. You do have to say fair play to him. 2 goals and 1 assist in 1 half. It's very, very impressive. But, first goal you can understand. But I think the second and the third goal is just poor from Real Mallorca. It's very, very poor defending. And I think they've really been out of it ever since they conceded those 2 goals. Because before that, they were looking like the better side by far. They were constantly attacking. They created so many chances. Muriqi almost scored 2 goals. And they were having the possession. They were taking the ball off of Real Betis all the time. And then out of nowhere, Anthony just came out. They got that goal. And ever since there, it's just been over for Real Mallorca. Now there's still a whole second half to go. Real Mallorca, they still have plenty of chances to try and get back into this. We saw them score 3 goals in 1 half not long ago, just about 2 weeks ago, up against a team like Sevilla at a very difficult stadium. But what's to say they can't do it here? They can do it here. They just really have to believe. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy one. It's going to be a very tough mountain to climb, even just to get a point. But either way, they really, really just need to give it all they got in this second half and at least try and get a goal or 2. And Bergstrong, such a shame for him to make his first La Liga match, his first La Liga debut match for Real Mallorca. He's just been very, very shocking. It's been a really bad performance from him. The second goal, he should have been saving it. The first goal, you can even understand because I think it's a brilliant shot from Anthony. Plenty of power and very well placed. I'm not quite sure what you want to say about the first goal. You can say maybe he should have saved it. He shouldn't. Either way, the first goal, in my opinion, you can't really blame it on him. But the second goal is just really poor from Bergstrong. He really should have been getting a hand on it. And then on the third goal, there's not much he can do. As Al-Zoui's right in front of the net, just a few yards out. So it's been a bit of a poor match for him, unfortunately, conceding those 3 goals. I think he's, even in the first goal, he's very badly positioned. But again, still a brilliant shot from Anthony. Either way, just in general, it was a good performance from Real Mallorca in the first half up until about the 20th minute where it just all went downhill and it just crashed like a plane. It just went completely downhill. Either way, we're going to go on a quick break and we'll be back very soon to talk about the second half and to see if Real Mallorca can at least try and get anything out of this second half, whether it's 1 goal, whether it's a good performance. They just have to give it all they've got now. There's nothing to lose. So yeah, make sure you do not go anywhere. We still have plenty to see in the second half. We'll see if Real Mallorca can make anything from this, and we will be back very, very shortly.
Bank, tú y yo, nosotros.
Antonio, al lío. Bona feina, ben fet. No ha quedat tan malament. No.
Hoy, miles de personas no tendrán tiempo para nada.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Y en CaixaBank queremos estar a su lado y al tuyo, facilitando cualquier gestión con nosotros para que sea todo más fácil. Porque queremos acompañarte día a día. Justo a tiempo. CaixaBank, tú y yo, nosotros.
Antonio, al lío. Bona feina, ben fet. No ha quedat tan malament. No.
Hoy, miles de personas no tendrán tiempo para nada.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Y en CaixaBank queremos estar a su lado y al tuyo, facilitando cualquier gestión con nosotros para que sea todo más fácil. Porque queremos acompañarte día a día. Justo a tiempo. CaixaBank, tú y yo, nosotros.
Bueno, pues ya estamos aquí de nuevo, preparados para esta segunda parte que tienen que cambiar muchas cosas. Segunda parte, Joan, que lo habíamos comentado un poco aquí, fuera de micros. ¿Por dónde empezarías tú a tocar? Vamos a ver si hay cambios o no hay cambios. Ahora estaba pendiente de si había algún cambio y aún no me...
We are back after that quick break, after that, to say the least, very, very, very disappointing first half from Real Mallorca out here at the Estadio de la Cartuja here in Sevilla, where, to say the least, it's been a very big disaster of a first half. We have the players soon heading back out to the pitch, to the stadium. We have quite a few Real Mallorca players also warming up. By the looks of it, some of these Real Mallorca players are going to be making some changes very soon. I mean, after all, they are losing 3-0, so I wouldn't be surprised if this Real Mallorca squad decided to make some changes. Now, I can't even start to imagine what Jacob Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager, said going into that locker room. I can't even imagine what it was like being a player and being in that locker room at that first half, because I just think they just absolutely gave away the match after it was going so well, after they were doing so well in this first half. I think this Real Mallorca squad, in case you did miss the first half, you know, they conceded very early on to a lovely goal by Anthony. The goal, you know, it's a great goal, to be fair. You can't really say much about it. The goal, maybe Bergström should have got there. I don't know. You can be one to judge that, whether he should have made that save or not, because he does look like he's very badly positioned, but it's a brilliant shot from Anthony. So, you know, the first goal, either way, you can't do much about it. After that first goal, I just think Real Mallorca, they were brilliant. They were constantly attacking. They were on the offensive. They had so many chances. They were constantly attacking. Vedan Muriqi had the chance to make it 2-1 quite a few times. And even possession-wise, they were holding most of the ball, Real Mallorca, most of the time, up until about the 25th minute, where out of nowhere, Real Betis just scored their second goal. And again, it's Anthony. And again, it's down that right wing where Real Betis have created all of their danger down that right wing, and it's something Real Mallorca haven't managed to rectify. Where Anthony comes down the right wing, he plays it between Cucho Hernandez, he plays it back to him, and I just think Anthony, when he gets that ball on the edge of the box on his left foot, you know he's going to perform a decent shot, you know he's left-footed, and he just has so much room to take the shot off. I think it's really poor defending from Real Mallorca, and even the shot, again, it doesn't have a lot. It's very well placed, but there's not a lot of power on it. I think Bergström maybe should have been getting a hand to it, and just ever since there, the match was just gone for Real Mallorca. And the third goal, it's a lovely ball from Lo Celso into Anthony, who again performs the assist. He passes the ball back into the penalty area box, and there's not much Bergström can do from that goal, as he's only just a few yards out from Mazal Zui. So again, a super disappointing first half for Real Mallorca. But either way, what's done is done now. The least Real Mallorca can try and do now is try and get something from this second half, whether it's one goal, whether it's two, or whether it's a good performance. We have seen Real Mallorca just 2 weeks ago score 3 goals in one half. Also in Sevilla, matters of fact, against Sevilla, at a very tough, complicated stadium. What's to say they can't do it out here today? So we're just waiting now for the referee to blow his whistle to commence the second half here at the Estadio de la Cartuja. And again, if you did miss it, a disappointing first half for Real Mallorca. But even so, it was looking good up until the match just absolutely crashed out of nowhere for Real Mallorca. And to say the least, Anthony will be absolutely buzzing with confidence down that right wing. So now the referee's blown his whistle, And we are on the way. The second half has commenced here at the Estadio La Cartuja with Real Betis 3 and Real Mallorca 0. And a very, very, very high mountain to climb if Real Mallorca want to try and bring this one back. 54,747 people here today in the Estadio La Cartuja, so quite an audience for this matchup, to say the least. They're definitely getting their money's worth, at least the home fans are, and the neutrals. Got to feel bad for the away fans, but either way, they're here to support their team and push this team on forward, and I'm more than sure that even at the full-time whistle, they'll be proud of their team, and they'll be there next match. They'll be there every season. So we'll see if Real Mallorca can potentially create something from this in the second half. Real Betis, I'm not quite sure what their approach is going to be in this second half. Not quite sure if their plan is to just sit back, hold the possession and not do much, or if they're going to try and go for that fourth goal and keep on playing offensive. Now the referee stopped the play here. I'm not quite sure what for. And he's having a word with an official at the stadium. I'm not quite sure what's happened or why he stopped the play. I think the ball was deflated and they've had to go for another one. So now we're going to continue going with the play, and it's Real Mallorca that are going to be in possession. The referee drops the ball, and here we go again. And one thing that's also to mention, you will say it's been a nightmare start for Bergstrom's first La Liga match, conceding 3 goals in one half. It's been an absolute nightmare for him, and you start to think, you know, if Leo Roman, if the main goalkeeper for Real Mallorca was here, would this have been different, or would have been the same result? Here's Mateo Joseph now, playing it down this left-hand side. Manu Morlanes into Jan Virgili. What can Jan Virgili do from this? He cuts in on his right, trying to curl it in. Decent effort there from Jan Virgili, but he couldn't get the shot on target. It's good play. And as I did mention, this kid is definitely going to be very special for Real Mallorca. He's been a brilliant signing. He's very, very talented. And I don't think Real Mallorca really have a player like him that's good at dribbling, quick with his feet. Now here comes Real Betis down this right-hand side. It's Anthony Mojica chasing him. Mojica does get there first, and he does very well to keep the ball there. Johan Mojica. Here he is again. Lovely ball from Mojica into Samu Costa. Down this left-hand side. He plays it into Jan Virgili. Surrounded by Real Betis players, Jan Virgili decides to play it back. And here's Sergi Darder. Plays into Muriqui. Muriqui. Manu Morlanes. Jan Virgili again on this left-hand side. He's going to try and put in the cross looking for Muriqui. Real Betis clearing it. Good offensive pressure here from Real Mallorca. Even if they can get 1 goal or 2, it would still mean something. But the least they can do, this Real Mallorca squad, is try and get back into this. Good ball from Samu Costa into Johan Mojica. He's going to play a lovely ball into Jan Virgili down the left. Surrounded by Real Betis players, it's Amrabat putting on the press. And Real Mallorca trying to get the ball back. It's Lo Celso. They end up putting on good pressure here, Real Mallorca, but Real Betis do get the throw in. So now Hector Bellerin is going to take the throw in for Real Betis. Hector Bellerin. Also a player that's been quite around for quite some time. Playing at top teams in Europe. Used to play for Arsenal in the Premier League and won quite the amount of trophies for them. And he's had a very good performance out here today, Hector Bellerin, for this Real Betis side, and you can really see that he's an important role in this squad. Now here come Real Mallorca, holding the ball in Real Betis side of the pitch. It's Samu Costa. He's going to switch it, looking for Jan Virgili. Jan Virgili does get his head on it. Anthony tracking back to defend. He does well. He plays it back to Valles. Now Real Mallorca have it again. It's Manu Morlanes into Samu Costa. Back to Manu Morlanes. Here's Sergi Darder. He plays it into Mojica. Mojica tries putting in the cross. Not enough height on that cross. And again, Real Mallorca today, they have created, in the first half, they did create loads of offensive chances before conceding those last 2 goals, but they have been very poor offensively. Very poor. Lovely ball here into Manu Morlanes. Manu Morlanes playing it into Jan Virgili. This is Jan Virgili. He does keep it in play. He plays it back to Mojica. Mojica's going to cut in. He tries putting in the cross. But Valles gets there first. And he's got quite the pace on him. That left winger, Jan Virgili. Good tackle from Sergi Rodet to get the ball back for his team. And they are playing very positively, Real Mallorca, in this second half. And I think that's what most fans want to see. Mojica attempting the very courageous long shot. But he just sends it over the crossbar. Creating plenty of chances so far, Real Mallorca. Again, this is the type of positivity you do want to see going into the second half, despite being 3-0 down, despite the players being very upset. They just have to keep on going, and that's what they're doing. And if they can't keep this up, and at least get a goal or 2, you could at least call it a positive second half. So now Real Betis in possession. Lo Celso is going to play it back to Hector Bellerin into Bartra. Bartra into Amrabat. Now Amrabat with plenty of room to drive forward. Here's Fornals. Fornals into Amrabat. Hector Bellerin out wide to Anthony. Anthony back to Amrabat. Real Betis again not rushing forward, as they have gotten those 3 goals already, but they are still attacking when they have the chance. Pablo Maffeo defending very well. And he does get the throw in for his side here, Pablo Maffeo. So now taking the throw in, Manu Morlanes plays up forward. Moriki does get taken down. The referee doesn't blow his whistle. Now heading it forward. Sergi Darder into Moriki. Moriki just can't keep hold of it. And he's had so far a bit of a poor performance out here today for that Moriki. Not seen much of him, and he did have some very important chances in the first half that he just couldn't get on target. Not usually something we see, as he has been Real America's maximum goal scorer with 5 goals to his name, and he has been in brilliant form recently. But unfortunately for him, this match, he's just not quite been there yet. There still is time. Here's Gianvirgili driving forward. He plays it into Muriqi. It's Muriqi. He's going to play it back. Mojica back to Muriqi. And the offside flag goes up either way, as I thought Muriqi was offside. Johan Mojica, he just tried playing a sneaky little pass into Muriqi there. But he's found himself quite offside. Maybe made the wrong choice there, Johan Mojica. So now Real Betis in possession of the ball. Here's Lo Celso. Lo Celso into Fornals. Fornals, Anthony. Now Anthony driving forward with plenty of room. Anthony's going to try and take it himself. He ends up losing it. Real Betis do get the ball back. It's Hector Bellerin into Lo Celso. Back to Hector. Fornals, Anthony, Amrabat. Back to Fornals. Into Lo Celso. Into Anthony. Real Betis again not forcing the offensive play, just holding on to it as they are, as they do have quite a comfortable lead at the minute. And it's just Anthony and Lo Celso holding the ball on that right hand side, making Real Mallorca nervous. They're going to try and switch it to this left hand side into Ezalzoui. He ends up losing it. Here's Muriqi. Maffeo into Mateo Joseph. The pass isn't good enough. And Real Betis gained the ball back. It's Amrabat. Plays a lovely ball into Lo Celso. He tries to find Anthony. It's good defending by Real Mallorca. So now the ball just flying all over the place. Everybody heading it. Real Mallorca do manage to bring it down in the end. Samu Costa into Darder. Gets a lovely touch. He loses it in a very dangerous position there, Sergi Darder. And what is going on in these last few minutes? The ball just keeps on going all over the place, and none of these teams can keep hold of it. It's Hector Bellerin. He's going to try putting in the cross into Cucho Hernandez, who almost puts it into the back of the net. Looking for that first post. It was a lovely pass from Hector Bellerin. A very dangerous chance. Lovely shot there from Cucho Hernandez. So now Real Mallorca taking the goal kick. And we're just about to approach the 60th minute. So just about 30 minutes left to go. And you can say it's been quite a disaster of a match out here today for Real Mallorca. The referee awards the free kick as Mateo Joseph gets taken down there by Fornals and Amrabat. So now Real Mallorca taking the free kick quickly. Here's Johan Mojica into Gianvirgili down the left hand side. It's Gianvirgili with plenty of room to potentially cut in. Plays it back to Manu Morlanes. Sergi Darder into Gianvirgili. Gianvirgili trying to take it on himself. He ends up losing it, and now Real Betis can break on the counter-attack. Bergstrom does get there first. Gives it away now, Bergstrom. Muriqi gets taken down. The referee continues the play. It's not Muriqi, it's Mateo Joseph who got taken down. Now Gianvirgili into Samu Costa. He decides to take the shot off. And a decent effort by Samu Costa. Plenty of power, but Not enough accuracy. And I'm just starting to think, Real Mallorca, have they even had a shot on target yet? I don't think they have. They've had so many chances. But their accuracy just isn't on point out here today. And it's something that's really costing them. So now Real Betis in possession. Here's Amrabat. He skips past his man Amrabat. He does very well. He's got plenty of room to drive forward. He tries to give it to Azal Zui. Now Lo Celso. He's very good, Lo Celso, with his feet. A hard player to take the ball off of. And taking the shot off. Decent effort there from Cucho Hernandez, but goes right at Bergstrom. And all he has to do is catch it. So now Real Mallorca taking the goal kick. It's safe to say, now maybe some people, and now Real Betis free on goal here, taking the shot off. And a big save by Bergstrom again from Cucho Hernandez. And Real Betis getting close at times to making it 4-0. And it just sums up the match it's been for Real Mallorca out here today. Gabriel making the run. Manu Morales doesn't quite see him. And as I was just mentioning, maybe some people didn't expect Real Mallorca to get the win out here today. But I definitely think no one expected them to lose this badly. And it's a shame for them to lose this badly, as the first half was actually very good from Real Mallorca. They just conceded those goals so quickly and very unnecessary. So it's a bit of a shame for Real Mallorca, because again, as I did mention, in the first half they were looking good. Just think they gave the match away on their own almost. And of course the brilliant performance from the Brazilian winger Anthony. I'm sure he'll be very happy with his performance. Samuel Costa gets taken down. It's going to be a free kick for Real Mallorca, just in Real Betis' side of the pitch. But by the looks of it, Real Mallorca are going to be making 3 substitutes. So Sergi Darder is going to be coming off. Manu Morales is going to be coming off. And then Mateo Joseph is also coming off. Replacing them will be Takuma Sano, Pablo Torre, and Omar Mascarey. So 3 substitutes made for Real Mallorca. And what a shame for this performance. And I'm sure they'll be coming off the pitch very upset with their performance out here today. So now 3 substitutes made for Real Mallorca. Maybe they can help make a bit of a change, at least in the second half. Here's Gian Virgili into Pablo Torre, who's also been a brilliant signing for Real Mallorca this season. Pablo Torre into Samuel Costa. Good play. The cross is cleared by Real Betis, but a lovely ball there from Pablo Torre. And as I was just mentioning, he's been a brilliant signing for Real Mallorca this summer. Trying to play a long ball into Takuma Sano, but the offside flag goes up. The ball's going to be awarded to Real Betis. There's that shot again there at Bergstrom. Cucho Hernandez, despite having an assist, I think he's had a bit of not of the performance he wanted. He's had quite a few chances and he just can't get his shots off. Now Real Mallorca in possession of the ball once more. Holding it in their own half of the pitch is Johan Mojica, who plays it into Jan Virgili. Here's Omar Mascaré taking it forward himself. It's Omar Mascaré. He gets pressed by Amrabat. Omar Mascaré still going forward. It falls to Pablo Torre, who fakes the shot, but he gets surrounded by Real Betis players and can't get the shot off on time. What ball that is there into Cucho Hernandez. He's going to take it himself. It's Cucho Hernandez trying to get the shot off. It's blocked. The deflection goes over the crossbar, so it's going to be a corner kick for Real Betis. What ball that was there from Isal Zui into Cucho Hernandez. Again, just decides to take it on himself. And it's going to be a corner kick for Real Betis. Just about 24 minutes left to go. And so far, every minute that goes by, it's looking like Real Mallorca don't stand much chance. Here's Jan Virgili with a lovely touch. Look at the pace on him, breaking on the counter-attack. It's Jan Virgili into Pablo Torre, and it's a poor pass by Jan Virgili. And Real Mallorca just have to be making the most of that counter-attack. What a chance it was for them. It's a 1-3-3 for Real Mallorca. Jan Virgili did so well to get that touch and to break forward with plenty of pace. But then the pass into Pablo Torre from Jan Virgili, just not enough power on it. It falls back a bit too much. And they can't afford to be giving away chances like that, Real Mallorca. So now Real Betis back in possession. Hector Bellerin into Anthony. Anthony playing it back to Barta. Barta back to Anthony. Anthony plays it all the way back to Valles. Real Mallorca clearing the ball. So now Real Betis are going to come down this left-hand side. And what's Bergstrom doing? He's come off his line. And a bit courageous there from Bergstrom. Isal Zui going down the left wing. And Bergstrom comes flying out of his line to try and tackle him. He ends up missing him. Luckily for him, Isal Zui missed the shot. And I will say, it's been quite the disaster performance for Bergstrom. You've got to feel bad for him, as it's only his first match in the LaLiga division. So now Real Betis making some changes. Making their first substitute of the match. Real Betis. And it's Rodriguez, who comes off the left back for Real Betis. And also Fornals also comes off and Roca replaces him. And Isal Zui also came off there. And Ruibal replacing him. So it's actually 3 substitutes made there for Real Betis. Now here's Sergi Derder in the edge of the box. Tries playing it into Muriqi. Just can't quite get his head on it, Muriqi, and he's just not been there this match, has he? Now here's Pablo Torre into Samu Costa. He has plenty of room. Samu Costa plays out wide to Jan Virgili. Here's Jan Virgili. He stops the play as he wants the free kick. Samu Costa's on the ground and he looks quite hurt. Take a look at the replay here. Just hits him there. Bartra, it doesn't look too bad. Anyway, Samu Costa's on the ground, looking quite hurt. So now we've just hit the 70th minute marker, so 20 minutes left to go. And Real Mallorca potentially have a chance here to get their first goal of this match. And stepping up to take it are the two new signings, the two new young players, the two Barcelona Academy players, Pablo Torre and Jan Virgili, both stepping up to take it. So we'll see if any of these two can make anything from this. Johan Mojica also stepping up. Jan Virgili ends up taking it, goes right into the wall of players and goes out for a corner kick. Bit of a poor free kick there from Jan Virgili, but he has been having a decent performance. He's definitely been the biggest offensive threat in this Real Mallorca side today. Now here's Pablo Torre putting in the corner. Real Betis clearing it. Here's Takuma Sano into Pablo Torre. Back to Takuma Sano. Can he make anything from this? Takuma tries putting in the cross. It's blocked. And a very good defensive display so far from Real Betis also. But again, Real Mallorca have had so many chances. They've just missed all their shots out here today. It's been a poor performance offensively. So now, Pablo Maffeo putting in the throw in. Antonio Rio does get his head on it, falls to Samu Costa. He tries passing it backwards, but it falls right to Lo Celso. And Lo Celso, he does well to get out of that tough position, and he gets a throw in for Real Betis. There's not long left to go now, just about 17 minutes left. There's Isco, the Real Betis player, who's currently injured, watching his team along. Also the former Real Madrid superstar that's won plenty of titles with the Real Madrid side. Now here's Jan Virgili, plays it into Mojica, who's going to put in the cross. Too much height on that cross from Mojica. And he can't find Muriqui. Real Mallorca taking the throw in, Takuma Sano. Pablo Torre, he decides to take it all the way back to Martin Valgent. Now Samu Costa into Takuma, back to Samu. Samu's gonna play the long ball and try and switch it all the way to the left hand side. Doesn't work out. Now here's Anthony. Anthony ends up claiming the free kick. Getting a bit aggressive there. Anthony and Johan Mojica. And Martin Valgent doing very well to defend the chance against Cucho Hernandez. It's going to be a throw-in for Real Betis. And you can see these Real Betis fans singing and dancing along. Obviously very happy with their team's performance. And for Real Mallorca, I can't say the same. So now Omar Mascarell into Samu Costa. Back to Martin Valgent. Samu Costa, Omar Mascarell. Playing it down the left hand side. It's Jan Virgili. He's going to play it into Omar. And I will say, the first half, first 20 minutes, it was brilliant from Real Mallorca. They were looking good offensively. The whole match has been very poor. All their shots have been off target and they've had so many. They've just not been able to make the most from any of their chances. But the first half, obviously conceding the first 3 goals was terrible. And then at least the second half, they have held the ball quite a lot of time. They've created plenty of chances, but again, they just keep on missing. But at least in the second half, there's been a bit of an improvement. But obviously, Real Betis winning 3-0, they won't be putting on the offensive pressure that they have been putting on in the first half. So you also have to take that into consideration. Here's a chance for Real Betis. It's Anthony, and what save by Bergstrong. And what a chance that was there for Anthony to get his hat-trick. Cucho Hernandez plays the ball into Anthony. He's 1v1 versus the goalkeeper, Anthony. Just a few yards out from the net. I'm not quite sure how Bergstrong has saved that. Look at this. What a save from Bergstrong. And also what clearance from Martin Valgent. Anthony, I'm sure he'll be very upset with himself. He had the chance to get his hat-trick. Just a few yards out, 1v1 versus the keeper. And Bergstrong stretches his legs. Despite the poor performance from him, at least he has made 1 or 2 brilliant saves out here today. And now Real Betis making a substitution. Lo Celso comes off. And Deosa coming on to replace him. That's the 4th substitution made now for Real Betis. And Lo Celso, what a match he has had. Brilliant player. The way he holds the ball between his feet. And he's filtered some brilliant passes. And you just struggle to take the ball off of him when he has it. He's a very impressive player. He's had a very impressive match. Now Valles giving the ball poorly away. It's Muriqi. He has a chance. Muriqi, what a shot! And what a save there from Valles. Finally, Real Mallorca managed to get a shot on target. Muriqi just fakes the pass. Tries to take on his right. Good shot from Muriqi. Not enough accuracy on it. It went right at the goalkeeper, but he did have the height on it. I thought it was going back from this angle. Looks like he was going into the top right corner, but it actually went right at the keeper. So now Real Mallorca putting in the corner. Omar Mascolé brings it down and gives it back to Pablo Torre. Pablo Torre fighting for the ball, but he just can't keep it. Takuma Asano gets the ball back. Tries putting in the cross. Valles leaps up and gets there first. He gives it quickly to Amrabat. Hector Bellerin. And they end up losing it. Samu Costa gets the ball back. Here's Jan Virgili. Rayo into Samu Costa. He tries putting in the cross, but it's blocked. So now Real Mallorca are going to be making 2 substitutions here. Jan Virgili comes off. Javi Abres comes on to replace him. And I'll tell you what, for Real Mallorca, there's not been any positives really at all today, but Jan Virgili was definitely the best player out there for Real Mallorca today, so fair play to him. Vedan Muriqi also comes off, and he's been replaced by Abdon Prats. And a very poor match also for Vedan Muriqi. So now Real Betis holding the ball in Real Mallorca's half of the pitch. And just 11 minutes left to go here now. And by the looks of it, Real Betis will be keeping these 3 points at home out here today with a massive victory for their side. Here's Amrabat. He's going to switch it to Anthony. Anthony back to Hector Bellerin. Amrabat into Hector Bellerin. Amrabat just holding the ball. Real Betis. As they are winning 3-0, they're not exactly rushing it forward. as they already have a comfortable lead. So now Real Betis constantly just holding the ball. And I think this Real Mallorca squad knows here now that there's no chance of bringing it back here now with only 10 minutes left. So now Amrabat, he's going to switch it all the way out to Anthony. Anthony tries taking, not sure if he was trying to take a touch or pass it, but he ends up losing it. Here's Samuel Costa, who gets taken down. Mallorca do take the free kick quickly. Here's Rayo into Mojica. And now Real Mallorca with the throw in with just about 8 minutes and a half left to go. And safe to say, it's not been the result that Real Mallorca wanted out here today. Not the result that many people expected, to say the least. One to forget for Jacobo Arrasate in his side. And what ball that is there into Takuma Sano. Very, very good defending from Real Betis, and it is going to be a corner kick. What ball it was from Pablo Torre into Takuma Sano. And he just reacts a bit slow there, Takuma Sano maybe. There's the chance here again for Anthony to get his third. And I'm not quite sure how he missed that one. Now Pablo Torre putting in the cross. Samuel Costa does get his head on it, but it goes over the crossbar. So now Real Betis with the goal kick, and by the looks of it, they're going to be making another substitution. And the man of the match, to say the least, Anthony, is going to be coming off, and Pablo will be coming on to replace him. Safe to say he'll be very, very happy with his performance, the Brazilian winger. 1 assist and 2 goals out here today for him, all in the first half. And fair play to him for such a brilliant performance out here today. Omar Mascarell tries playing it forward, but they can't make anything from that. And now just 7 minutes left to go. And safe to say, it's going to be a match to forget for Real Mallorca. Trying to think of any positives from this. You can't really think of many for the side in red. I think the offensive was very poor in the defense. I just think the whole team in general were missing a lot out there today. You know, in the first half, they were decent. They were creating plenty of chances. Vedat Muriqi, he did have so many chances to at least get a goal. We just couldn't get him on target. But either way, they were still playing good. And when Real Mallorca were dominating, they still managed to concede 2 goals in about the space of 2 minutes. And just like that, they gave the match away. It's a shame. And in the second half, they couldn't manage to score a single goal at all, at least up until now. There's still about 5 minutes left to go. But again, not much positives you can bring out from this performance out here today for Real Mallorca. But one thing I will say, it was a brilliant performance, I think, from Jan Virgili. And that left winger for Real Mallorca, I think he's a brilliant player. He's been a brilliant signing, and despite the team playing bad again, I think he played very, very well. And he was constantly driving forward, taking the ball forward himself, creating chances when the team couldn't really manage to do much. But again, in general, in this Real Mallorca squad, there's not much we can really talk about. It's just been poor. So now, 4 minutes left to go. Takuma Sano gets taken down there by Pablo, so it's going to be a free kick. And Maffeo did pick up a yellow card just there. I'm not quite sure for, I think for protesting to the referee. Samu Costa playing it. Looking for Abdon. Plays it back to Omar. Omar's going to switch it down to this right hand side in the Takuma. Takuma back to Pablo Torre. And I will say, the substitutions, I also think they've been poor for Real Mallorca. The only one I really think has been good was Pablo Torre. I think ever since he came on, he did make a difference in that midfield. Filtering lovely passes. He played one or two brilliant passes. But I can't say the same for the rest of the substitutions. I don't think they brought much to the table in this second half. Real Betis taking the shot on, but the deflection goes out for a corner kick for Real Betis. And now Real Betis taking the corner quickly. Here's Pablo. He ends up losing it. Real Mallorca could potentially break on the counter-attack. They don't decide to do so. Here's Mojica. Good pass from Mojica. Abdon Prats does well to get out of that tough situation. Switching it down to the right hand side. Here's Real Mallorca. Pablo Torre. Looking for Abdon Prats there. Just couldn't get enough height on the pass there, Pablo Torre. Here's Omar again into Pablo Torre. Trying to filter a free ball. But not much is working for Real Mallorca in this second half. And in general in the whole match. Real Betis just driving forward. It's Pablo on the right wing. Here's Pablo. He tries to cut in, takes the shot off. Good save by Bergstrong. Here's Samu Costa trying to dribble past Amrabat. Amrabat just gets taken down by Samu Costa. Good play there from Pablo to get the shot off. Bergström makes himself wide. Not quite sure how many minutes the referee will add on, as there's only one more minute left to go. Don't think there'll be many minutes added on in this matchup. And again, 54,747,000 people attending here at the Estadio de la Cartuja. Most of them very, very happy that they did attend this match. Very happy, I'm guessing, with their team's performance. For the Betis fans and the neutral fans. And a bit of a disappointment, a massive disappointment for those Real Mallorca fans. You can see Jacob Arrasate still standing on the sidelines. At least trying to make the most of this second half. Here's Pablo Torre. He does very well with the body feint and cuts in. 2 minutes have been added on. So we'll see if Real Mallorca can make anything from this now. Here's Pablo Maffeo. Pablo Maffeo taking it all the way himself. Tries putting the pass in. Good, very good play there from Pablo Maffeo. And I will say, fair play to Pablo Maffeo, because he's also been decent this match. And to be fair to Pablo Maffeo, all of the goals have come down the other side. And they haven't scored any goals from his side, to be fair to him, so. And the shot by Javi Yabres, what a chance that was there for Javi Yabres to potentially get his first goal in the La Liga division and to get at least a goal for Real Mallorca. And again, they just can't get the shot on target, Real Mallorca. And it's been a very recurrent theme in this match. You can see a look of the players on the bench, a look of disappointment. And of course, I'm not quite surprised. Now Real Betis holding possession, just trying to run down the clock. Still taking it forward, the side in green and white. Here's Pablo up against Mojica. And Mojica ends up committing the foul, and he actually picks up a yellow card. So it's going to be a free kick as Pablo got taken down. Take a look at the replay here. He just hits him with his hand on his face unintentionally. And by the looks of it, this is going to be the last play of the match, as we have hit the 92nd minute. It is a free kick and quite a dangerous position for Real Betis, and they are going to give it to Pablo. Here's Pablo taking the shot on. Decent effort. And the referee blows for the full-time whistle. And that is the end of this matchup out here today at the Estadio La Cartuja. And the MVP, no surprise there, obviously awarded to Anthony, who's had a brilliant match out here today. You have to say, the Brazilian winger, what a match he's had in the first half. 2 goals and 1 assist for him. The main reason that they really scored the 3 goals. And a very, very disappointing result for Real Mallorca out here today. I mean, it's been an absolute disaster, I think, for this Real Mallorca side. There's not much to talk about positively about this matchup. And one thing I do want to check are the stats. That we're going to have a look at that in a minute, because we have quite a few things to talk about how poor that was for Real Mallorca. And I mean, let's analyze the match before we get into the stats and most of those things. First half, from the first minute till about the 20th minute, they did concede a goal with Anthony scoring the long shot goal, the low-driven shot with his left foot into that first corner. You know, even despite that goal, Real Mallorca was still playing very, very good. They even looked like a bit of the better side at times. It was 50-50, but they even looked like a bit of the better side. It was a good performance up until about the 25th minute. Real Mallorca, they were competing good. They had plenty of chances. Vera Muriqi had 1 or 2 chances. Unfortunately, just couldn't get him on target, and that's something we're going to talk about in a bit. But again, up until about that 25th minute, it was a good performance by Real Mallorca. And you could even argue if Bergson, if maybe, you know, it's his first match starting for Real Mallorca in the La Liga divisions, his first match starting this whole season, he definitely felt the pressure out there today. I think he really, really did have a poor performance. You've got to feel bad for him. But he probably just felt the pressure, you know, his first match starting at a stadium like this against a team like this whilst your main man Leo Roman is out injured, and he's been so good, he's been so class in trying to replace him, trying to keep up with his form. You've got to feel bad for Bergstrom out there today. But either way, you could have argued that maybe he was really, really badly positioned in that first goal. But either way, it's a brilliant goal. First 20-25 minutes is good from Real Mallorca. And then out of nowhere, when Real Mallorca were constantly being the dominant side, just like that, Anthony scores again from outside of the box with his left. I really, really think, first of all, he can't be getting that shot off. The defense gives him so much time and space to get on his left, and they know that he's left-footed. They know that Anthony's theme is to curl with his left foot. It's what he does. It's what he does every match. And even so, they just give him so much time and room to shoot. And it's a good shot by Anthony, very well positioned, but he just doesn't get a lot of power on it. I think Bergstrom maybe should have been getting a hand on it. And then after that, they concede a goal about a minute later. And the match just went from there. I mean, everything from then onwards was just terrible from Real Mallorca. In the second half, they did hold the possession, as Real Betis didn't really need to hold it. They did create good chances. The build-up play was good in the second half at least, but the finishing was just so poor from Real Mallorca. And so poor that I'm going to say it right now. It's 14 shots for Real Mallorca and only 1 shot on target. I mean, it's really just not good enough from this Real Mallorca squad to have 14 shots and only have 1 on target. It's really, really poor. They need to be doing a bit better than that. So, yeah, again, you know, second half, a bit better at least, but in general, they created a lot of chances, but just, you know, not accurate enough from Real Mallorca. They didn't concede, at least in the second half, but they also didn't score a single goal, and I feel like that's something that Real Mallorca could have done in the second half. They definitely could have scored a goal or even 2 to try and get back into it, but they just couldn't do it. And even this Real Betis side, they weren't dangerous. They weren't exactly a massive threat, but it was Anthony down the right wing every time, doing the same thing, and I just think Real Mallorca couldn't keep up with it. They couldn't clock onto it, because if you look, Real Betis through the middle, through the left, they didn't create any danger. It was constantly that right side that they kept on coming from every time. And again, it really, really could have been avoided. But I just think it was really poor defending, really poor overall performance from Real Mallorca. So really a shame and really a match to forget for them. Hopefully, you know, they've been back with confidence. Real Mallorca, they have started to look a lot better. Hopefully this doesn't plummet their confidence too much. I think it's going to be a very upsetting moment for these players and for the manager and for every Real Mallorca fan out there. It's really, really not what they expected out here today. And overall, you know, it's not just a loss. It's not just a heavy loss. It's a really bad performance, and I think that's what upsets most people. Now, one good thing I can say about this Real Mallorca squad out there today, I think Jan Virgili on the left wing, I think that new signing that Real Mallorca made this summer, the 19-year-old Spaniard coming from the Barcelona academy, I think he was very good. He was really the only one driving forward, actually causing danger for those Real Betis players, whereas on the other hand, the other players, they just didn't look like they had enough drive. They weren't creating danger. Their heads were down. Whereas Jan Virgili, the whole match, even when they were losing 3-0, he kept on driving, he kept on going. I think good performance from Jan Virgili out there today. That's at least a positive for Real Mallorca. And again, for this Real Betis side, I don't think they were particularly very good. I don't think they were particularly very dangerous. I just think Real Mallorca let them get the win from how bad the performance was. Again, obviously fair play to Anthony. I mean, 2 goals and 1 assist in 1 half. It's brilliant from him. And the first goal, and even the second goal, is a brilliant goal from Anthony. Also, Hector Bellerin, I think, brilliant performance from him. I just think that right side damaged Real Mallorca so much, and they just couldn't clock on with it. They couldn't defend it. And it just gave away their whole match, so it's a bit of a shame. for Real Mallorca. And yeah, I mean, there's not much more we can really go over in this post matchup. That's what happened. Bad day for Real Mallorca, bad performance. Not really any positives, maybe one or two. Maybe in the second half, at least they didn't concede, but they also didn't score. At least they looked a tiny bit better in the second half, but either way, it's just a dull performance, and one really to forget, one to sweep under the carpet. They just have to keep their heads up because they're not the team that we saw there today. They really have been doing good recently. They have been getting better, and they just can't let this kill their confidence. Now we're going to look at where this leaves both of these teams on the table now. With that performance over, that leaves Real Mallorca still in 17th place with 9 points on the table. Still in a very low position, somewhere they don't want to be. And you have to remember that this Real Mallorca team throughout the last 2 to 3 years have been doing massively well. We're looking at top 9, almost getting into European football last season, only off by about 2 to 3 points. We're looking at 2 seasons ago, they got to the Copa del Rey final at this very stadium that they played at today and lost only on penalties. And this is a side that only came back into the first division in 2021. So Real Mallorca have been a big team the last few years. They've made a massive impact. They do belong up there with the goods. But at the minute, they're just not showing it. So that leaves Real Mallorca at 17th place with 9 points. And it leaves Real Betis at 5th place with a total of 19 points on the table. So a really good start to the season for Real Betis. And those 3 points, massive for them, leaving them currently in a European League spot for Europa League. So fair play to Real Betis. A very important result for them out there today. And yeah, I don't really think there's much more to go over on this match. Just a day to forget for Real Mallorca, and you know, fair play to Real Betis, and a day not to forget for Real Betis. Now, that is going to be the end of this live stream from me here today. Again, as I mentioned, I don't think there's any much more to go over. Bad, you know, terrible first half. You know, the start was good first 20 minutes, but then the rest, terrible first half. Second half was really not good enough. A bit better, but not good enough. Not much positives from this. Brilliant, good performance from Jan Birigidi for Real Mallorca. Decent performance from Pablo Maffeo, in my opinion, too, to be fair. And a shame for Bergstrong for his first La Liga match to go this way. You've got to feel for him. And for Real Betis, again, I don't think they were that good. I just think Real Mallorca really let them win. Fair play, obviously brilliant performance from Anthony. Fair play to him. What player? And what goals he scored. I mean, he pretty much won the match for Real Betis. And also Hector Bellerin, also brilliant performance. That right side for Real Betis was super, super dangerous out there today. And that's what Real Mallorca really lacked to notice. Now, I've been your host for today's live stream. My name was Daniel Armstrong. Make sure, before I leave, to follow us on our English Twitter page. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're new to this YouTube Play Red channel. We go live every pre-match, every post-match, and during the match, every weekend for every match. So make sure you tune in. I'll be here commentating the match along with you guys. Again, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next week out, hopefully, for a better performance. Have a good night, everyone.
Pues con otro protagonista, esta vez con Samu Costa. Bueno, Samu, buenas tardes. ¿Qué valoración haces de este partido?
Partido muy complicado. Podíamos haber dificultado un poco más el juego de Betis, ya sabíamos el peligro que tenían por las bandas. Hemos estado mal con balón, creo que hemos estado bien, tuvimos personalidad, pero al final perdimos y hay que mirar al espejo, mirar el vídeo, mirar el partido y ver que se puede mejorar, porque el mundo no termina, pero tenemos que despertarnos porque necesitamos ganar.
El equipo se levantó, ¿no?, del 1-0, se rehizo con acciones, con jugadas de peligro. Recuerdo un remate de Beda Murici, pero esos dos goles tan seguidos que acabaron en el 3-0 hizo mucho daño, ¿no, Samu?
Sí, después del gol de ellos, el primero, estuvimos muy bien con balón. Encontrábamos en los pasos a Sergi, Mateo también estaba haciendo peligro, Jan, pero ellos han sido muy eficaces, 4 tiros creo, 3 goles. Al final así es complicado, nos pasó en Sevilla también, cuando hemos sido nosotros eficaces, pues pasa, pero tenemos que dejar mejor imagen.
Y ahora que todo esto, ¿no?, esta autocrítica nos sirva, ¿no?, para el próximo partido Getafe, que todas estas cosas que se necesiten mejorar, que lo que comentaban, nos sirva para afrontar el siguiente partido, ¿no, Samu?
Sí, hoy y mañana pues son días de autocrítica, de analizar, de pensar que cada uno ha hecho mal, y a partir de mañana pues ya meter el foco el domingo, porque tenemos que levantar esta situación.
Samu, gracias.
Gracias.